We are just one day away from Apple's September event where they're expected to unveil the iPhone XS, Apple Watch Series 4, maybe new AirPods, maybe finally AirPower, and maybe a couple things more. So what I want to do right now is go over all the last minute rumors with you. So you're totally up to speed, you're totally ready to dive into the big event. But one problem, one complication, I'm on my way to the airport. I have to fly to Cupertino, California. So I'm just gonna take you with me.
And we are calling it iPhone. Today we're introducing the iPhone 3G.
And that's why I'm really excited to tell you about an entirely new version, the iPhone 3GS.
We're introducing iPhone 4.
I'm really pleased to tell you today all about the brand new iPhone 4S. Today, we're going to introduce iPhone 5. And the first one is called iPhone 5C. The second is called iPhone 5S.
The iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, the iPhone 6S and the iPhone 6S Plus. This is iPhone 7. iPhone 8. One more thing. This is iPhone 10.
And whoa, okay, here we are, just down the street from Apple Park and the Steve Jobs Theater. Now, again, as everybody knows, the sure thing is the iPhone. The iPhone is just the biggest part of Apple's business, and it has to ship every year. This year, that means the iPhone XS. Apple has used the S moniker for years, going back to the iPhone 3GS, 4S, 5S, 6S. There was no 7S because the iPhone 7S absolutely had to sell because Apple was positioning the iPhone 10 on top of it, and they needed volume underneath that. And iPhone 8 was a much better name to get volume than iPhone 7S would ever be. So we skipped 7S, we got 8, but now we're going back to 10S. There's been a lot of speculation about what the other phones will be called, some disagreement even, and it could be some people got it really wrong. We'll see. The biggest candidates so far, the ones that are getting the most attention on the downside, the 6.1-inch LCD version could be iPhone XC, like the iPhone 5C before it, more colorful, or it could be iPhone XR. I'm not sure what the R stands for, certainly not Renee, but if Apple goes that way, we'll find out for sure tomorrow. On the bigger side, we're looking at either iPhone XS Plus. The Plus name is something they've used going all the way back to the original Apple computers, and it's something they brought back with iPhone 6 Plus, 6S Plus, 7 Plus, 8 Plus. But there's also some rumors that they could call it the iPhone X Max, which does sound a little bit Android circa 2010. So I'm hoping, might be wrong, but I'm hoping they stick with the Plus. There has been a last-minute rumor that Apple will also be sticking with the small 5-watt charger. That is certainly the safest, most conservative charger you can use if you're interested in eking out every second of battery health and longevity possible. But for most people, convenience is way more important, and a fast charger really delivers on that convenience. So I'm still hoping Apple amps it up. Sorry. The much bigger charger. Apple Watch, as I said in a previous video, is the closest to a sure thing we have because they have that relationship. They seem tied together, so much so that I can't even really imagine, right now at least, Apple announcing an iPhone without an Apple Watch, at least not until an Apple Watch is an independent device that can function all on its own. Recent rumors suggest it could have an electrocardiogram as well, an ECG into it, which would further enhance the watch's ability to detect irregular heart rates. And that's sort of really become a thing. Apple originally put a heart rate monitor in the iPhone simply to get accurate calorie count. But since then, they've seen how it's been helpful and how people have used it and how beneficial it's been. And they've really ramped up the health aspect of it. And if they can get an ECG in there into a watch that millions of people could be wearing, that would be fantastic. The last big thing I expect to see is AirPods and AirPower, right? Finally, AirPods could go second generation, including better water or sweat resistance. It could do onboard Hey Siri, which would alleviate them having to communicate back and forth with a device just to parse what you're saying. And of course, the inductive charging case, which would go with the AirPower mat, which would let you put one iPhone, two iPhones, or an iPhone and an Apple Watch along with your AirPods all on one surface that would charge all together all at the same time. Now that's really the only things that I'm expecting at tomorrow's event. Apple has done these sort of Clear My Skies event in the past where they've announced absolutely everything that was coming out in the holiday season all at once. But I think this year it's looking more and more like it's going to be an iPhone, Apple Watch, and accessories event. And then maybe in October we'll get a second event for iPad and MacBook. And there have been some new rumors about those things as well, including, I guess, the biggest one is that the iPad Pro could switch from a Lightning port to a USB-C connector. The iPad is bigger than an iPhone, so the USB-C connector would fit better than it does in a thin iPhone. So from an engineering point of view, I guess that's easier. And I think a lot of people would love it. People who are used to USB-C on their computers or on their other devices. People who are all in on the Lightning ecosystem, though, might get pretty peeved at having to buy all of these accessories and cables all over again. I guess it depends on where we see the future of these machines going. And if they really are meant to be the next generation of computers, they're going to have to interface with the next generation of peripherals. Unless, of course, the minute after they're announced, the standards body just releases USB-C Mini, because that's how they roll. For the Macs, the biggest rumors are around the entry-level models. The MacBook Air replacement, still under $1,000, a category Apple hasn't really been competitive in for many years, and the Mac Mini, a product Apple hasn't updated in many years. But again, that sounds much more likely for next month than this week. So to set expectations, iPhone XS, iPhone XS Plus or Max, iPhone XC or R, AirPods, AirPower, Apple Watch Series 4, and who knows, maybe they'll throw us a curveball or two. I am here live in Cupertino, again, just down the street from Apple Park. I'll be there tomorrow. And this is new for me. I haven't really taken the show on the road before, and I want to make sure it looks good. I want to make sure it sounds good. So what I'm doing is brushing up on all my core video skills, and I'm doing it, not surprisingly, with Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning tool, environment, platform where you can just sign up and consume as much as your brain, as your eyeballs, as your ears, as your senses can take in, and you can learn about any subject. I'm checking out as much on video production as I possibly can, so I can just make sure everything looks as good as possible. But whatever you're interested in, if you want to get better at your job, if you want to get a new job, if you want to learn a hobby that lets you forget about your job, Skillshare has all of it. So just check the link in the description below where you can sign up for free and try it out. Thank you so much, Skillshare. Now that's what I expect, but I want to hear from you. I also want to hear from you. What do you want to see me cover? How do you want to see me cover it? What products are you the most interested in? What details of those products are most relevant and important to you? Make sure you let me know in the comments below. And please hit like, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.